Welcome, everyone. My name is Ryan, and we are back with more Dwarf Fortress today. This is episode 9 of my 4th season, but in this season, we're basically going to do multiple fortresses. In fact, this is our second one. So the first 7 episodes were dedicated to another fort, which I eventually retired. It didn't crumble or fall necessarily, but it was kind of on the way there. We had a dwarf go insane, but if you want to watch those episodes, check out the playlist link down below. But we are now on our second installment with this fortress, the Moth Tomb. Oh, I didn't even notice that name. It's a good name. I'm sure there are many moths which will find their final resting place here, but we're at the surface, one level below. We've got our farms going, our stockpile, the kitchen in the Still worried about drink. Always worried about drink with these dwarves. They are thirsty fellows and ladies. We've got our manager's office. It's not much to look at, but it's functional. And the beating heart of the colony here are workshops, and we've even got our metalsmith up. You can see I'm already starting to lay some stuff out, which we can't really build yet. I don't have any furnace dwarves, but just starting to think ahead. I don't want to overwhelm our current set too much, though. So, going a little bit slower with things. We've got, oh, good, we got some bedrooms. Now, this layer is beautiful. Yeah, we've got limestone next to the microline, which is like a blue. Oh, this is going to be a really pretty level. We've even got some carnelian clusters. We don't have any gem dwarfs yet, but, well, let's start placing some stuff. See if we've got any doors. So I'm going to keep the building, and I'll just use the closest materials so I can just, boom, pop them down. Now, we don't have a lot of dwarves to haul stuff either. Yeah, we're pretty limited on our labor, obviously, with just 7, and most of them have stuff going on. But the metalsmith, once he finishes making some gears and some traction benches, he'll probably start laying out these doors. So in other words, this is another thing, like I don't want to set up too many hauling tasks, because then like our farmers and our brewer will start to get in on the action. So we'll just focus on these, 6, 9 different, because that's going to cover our population. Everybody will have a bedroom. Yeah, once the doors and beds gets laid, we can actually designate them. But let's see, do I have a chest for each room? That'll start to boost the mood. They like having extra furniture. Nobody wants a room with just a door and a bed. That's pretty Spartan lifestyle. Maybe if you're a monk, that's the kind of life you want. But even a monk has a chest to like put an extra change of robes in or something. So let's do BF. I think I also made some cabinets in that first one. I queued up 10 cabinets. There we go. Beautiful. And at some point, oh, I'm missing one. That's okay. We can even make up like some statues, put them in here, really beautify the place. But yeah, you can see we've got dwarves working, but nobody has loaded up a thing. That's actually good. I'm actually okay with that. What? How are we losing rope? We've still got stuff on the surface. I think it's time to deconstruct and remove our wagon. Yeah, again, there's not a lot of dwarves that can do the hauling at the moment. But we need to get this stuff out of the wagon below the surface where it's safe, and whatever this is, a coati, maybe that's a bird or something, where they can't steal from us anymore. Uh-oh. We had some miasma. Yeah, it's still there. It's hard to see it now because it's kind of dissipating. It gets thicker. I think something rotted here. Yeah, there's a puff of it right there, that miasma. This is what we want to avoid. Somebody left something here. Rotten yak cheese. There's a lot of rotten cheese here. We need to trash that. And that's the thing. Oh, yeah, I haven't set up a dumping stockpile yet. It's because we put our food on hold. So let's go to our work order. Wait, I thought I did, right? That's the still. Yeah, let's unpause the lavish meal. Hopefully they'll use some of that cheese up. Boy, I just kind of didn't expect them to be so efficient with the cheese. Man, these stockpiles filled up quick. Let's go back to our kitchen tab, trying to make use of this tab much more now, just to see, okay, if there's anything that crosses over that you can either cook with or make drinks with, then we want them to use that for drinks only. Very important. And we do not want our seeds to be used for cooking. You could cook with seeds, obviously, make some delicious muffins or something, but no. Those are for strictly planting. And, okay, good, our farm plots. We only have 2 kinds of seeds now, plump helmets and dimple cups, but that's really all you need. Yeah, we can get some fancier stuff if we go to the surface. I doubt we have this many, but I'm just laying them all out. Yeah, if we go to the surface and plant some up top, we'll get other options like strawberries, just depending on the season or whatever. But let's go back below. Our drink numbers are looking good. I want to get this miasma out of here. So I think what we'll do is we'll go down a level below. I just have to remember this water. There's like water here and a little bit here. Yeah. So we don't want to dig below that, but I'm going to prioritize this is going to be a number 1. Very important. We're going to put a door here, and then I'm going to have 2 large stockpiles, 13 by 13. I always like to go with the odd numbers because then I can set up like a single door and it's perfectly symmetrical. There we go. Let's cancel that bit of hallway. All right, so these will both be refuse stockpiles for corpses and bones and rotten cheese. And we'll put doors on all of them so that miasma, which should not be occurring here, will be contained in that level below. And let's see, I don't know, that's pretty big. Tell you what, here's what we'll do. X. That's a lot of mining. So I'm going to leave this one for now. We don't need 2. This is a really big stockpile. So we'll just set that one up first. Prioritize. That way the miners can get back down here. Start working on the bedrooms more. Yeah. And eventually we're going to have to carve out a mausoleum. But, oh good. I think we can actually designate the rooms now too. Okay. We want multi. This is good. We're getting extra rooms up before we've even got our first wave of migrants. So wait, did I just screw that up? No. Okay, it's good to go. Yeah, I've got 1 extra too, so we officially have 10 bedrooms now with 7 dwarves, with 3 to spare. All right, we've got some dwarfs which are not great. There's 3 of them which are closer to being really pissed off. And yeah, I'd like to bring up some moods. Now, after looking through, if I go here, I can kind of pick one out and look, and then we can look at their thoughts. Annoyed at the lack of chairs when caught in the rain. There was another one, this sleeping on the dirt shouldn't matter. Yeah, we've got cups working, but one of the things they mentioned, I think it was this other dwarf, there was miasma was mentioned, so the dwarfs are breathing that in. I think it was this person who mentioned it. Thoughts. Disgusted after retching, but also right here, uneasy after being unable to pray for too long. So we definitely want to get some of these temples started. It's very easy. We just need to assign them, and the doors will just go pray in an empty room, essentially. But the first thing, it's a good idea to figure out how many different gods there are in your world, because as I mentioned previously, it's random. So each world will have a different amount of gods and deities. So what I've done is I've actually set this room here is going to be a meeting place, or like an inn. Actually, we'll set it as a meeting place specifically because that is different. So what we can do is go ahead and lay it out, and this will help us figure out the temple. So I'll accept that. Now I want to go in and add or assign a location. Now I'm just going to click new temple, although I'm not going to select one, but this brings up the list, and I can see we've got essentially 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So there's deities, there's no specific, and then there's a couple of like cults or just whatever, churches or something. And these all need their own rooms. So now I know I need 10 different rooms down below, but we can still keep this as our meeting hall. It just allowed me the knowledge to, figure out how many of these we actually need to dig out. So I'm going to set up 10 7x7s and get the miners to work. Oh yeah, here we go. So we have gotten 10 plus 2 more. So I extended a couple of big rooms on the sides, and we'll just add a couple of bedrooms. Also notice that I messed this up over here. Yeah, it's not perfectly symmetrical. I dug the hallway in the wrong location, but not to worry. I'll just have to correct that with some walls down the road. Still waiting on that first group of migrants. I'll tell you what, maybe because we settled so far from the dwarf homes, like the original mountain homes, I don't know. We're only in early summer though. We'll give it some time. But now I'm going to lay these all out as temples, which is kind of boring, so I'll do that real quick. Okay, there we go, looking real good. 10 of them, one for no specific deity, but also while we're down here, check this out. These walls are all magnetite, so this whole area is just covered in magnetite ore. So once we get those furnaces up and running, we are going to be into some iron. Oh boy, it has finally happened. We've got some migrants have arrived. And one thing I did realize too while playing offline in a different world is that, if you catch it quick enough, for instance, as soon as they enter the map, it will show who the new arrivals are. So this is something I'd kind of hoped I could see, but eventually I think it drops off once they pick up a job. Like I said, if I unpause it now and just let it go, this would eventually change, but it's helpful. And one thing I like to do is just go to our labor and kind of go down the list here and see if any of these people have skills, maybe that other than their name suggest, because just because it says gem cutter, they can still have other skills too. And those might be more useful to us, but we are looking for a gem cutter. So let's go down the list. No miners, no woodcutters. Oh, interesting. So the stonecrafter who showed up is a novice ambusher, but we're not really ready for having hunters yet. We don't even have bows or arrows or any kind of cages yet, so we're doing okay on food. Food's not our issue. Drinks are our issue, but let's look at planters. Oh, okay. Now, the gem cutter showed up as a novice planter, but let's look. I've actually set up a job for gems now, so let's just look at that. Yeah, see, this dude is a high master gem cutter. Oh, it's funny, the other two showed up, so we only got 3, and all 3 of them have some gem skills. Yeah, it's a dwarf for you, right? They're all fascinated by those sparklies. But I think we will definitely set this guy to gem cut, and that'll be his only job, yeah. This level of title definitely warrants like his own gem station. Yeah, and this will be his only job. This will make us rich. Hopefully it'll attract more people too. But so let's go back up to planters. Yeah, so in other words, he's not going to be helping with planting. Maybe one of the other guys could do it, like this bower. It wouldn't be a bad idea, but I think what I might do is let's keep going down the list. No fisher dwarfs yet. Let's set the bower as a plant gatherer too, because I think I'm going to have him back up now as a secondary brewer. So he can plant gather and brew. No stone cutters. Graver, hauler. Actually, let's set... we'll set the stone crafter as a hauler. We'll just set all the newcomers as haulers, that's fine. Alright, no more doctors. Cook, no. Okay, so nobody's proficient with brewing, but like I said, we're going to throw him on as a brewer, and eventually he'll gain skill in it. So we did get a talented stone crafter. I think we'll keep him, as a stone crafter. That's actually kind of cool, because that includes, I specified that this job includes everything, like masonry, carving, stone cutting. I left off engraving, but okay, let's see. Let's go to done and wood. I think we've got it all covered now. Yeah, only 3 dwarfs, but hey, that's a start. It's more than what I feared we would get, which was 0 is what I feared initially. Another quick thing I've done, I mentioned the blocks. We're going to be using blocks instead of just raw stone now, which I think is going to be a really helpful tip. But I've set up a stockpile on the surface, so all the blocks will be brought up here. Once I start to see some being moved up, we'll work on the walls too, because that'll definitely make things a lot more efficient. But I think we ought to get some of these trees chopped down too. Let's prioritize some tree chopping. Of course, we want to stay on top of the plant gathering, so we'll get that going. Let's pop down to the cooking section. Oops. Okay, we got no seeds. We always have to constantly keep up with these farm plots. They keep them going pretty good. It's just they'll run out of seeds, so it's not selected to the proper thing. There we go. That's a good distribution. Got to keep that going. Let's check on our kitchen tab again, just to see if recently have we picked anything up like this that can be brewed and or cooked. Nope, there's no crossovers, so that's good. That'll help us keep up on our brewing. As you can see, drinks are going to be an issue, and the more doors we get, the more important it's going to become. So let's go ahead and set that second still now. Workshops, farming, still, and I'll just put it right here. That's kind of what this room was for anyway. It's close enough to the stockpile and the farms. Yeah, should be nice and efficient. So let's keep these things going, and let's keep them cleared, I should say. And let's get this built. I'll assign some tasks to it right away. Okay, let the wealth start pouring in. I've got 2 jewelers' workshops. One of them, I did just put a work order for encrusting furniture with cut gems. I think, you know what, actually, let's do a second encrust finished goods with cut gems. There we go. And we'll just do 25, and we'll check that monthly. Yeah. That's exactly how the other order's set up too for encrusting. Now this one, cut gems, is to be done 100 times, checked daily. So I want this guy just cutting gems constantly, and basically if he's got any time, or if the gems are gone, if he's cut them all, then he'll start to encrust, at least until we get another dwarf who's competent. But really just trying to fill up the stockpile with the basic stuff. If we pop down to the bedroom level, yeah, you can see I'm expanding it little by little, but we're still missing like key things occasionally. Can't get the doors. And of course I messed this up, so I'm gonna have to relay that out, but we'll dig out some more bedrooms. Now over here, these are of course all laid as temples. This is going to be like a library, and then over here we might do our an inn or something like that. Oh, look at this. All right, so the door is going to be placed soon, but otherwise I'm still waiting on this still to be built. Yeah, it didn't get suspended or anything. I think our brewer is just like really swamped with, yeah, he's constantly working, just barely keeping up with it though, despite the fact that we've got a full stockpile of ready ingredients. I don't know, hopefully we can get this other one built so I can start, the second dwarf. But I did set up a little chicken area here. We've got our nest boxes, although the rooster is still wandering around. See, he's assigned here, but his girlfriend is missing him. I don't know what he's doing. Either way, the cats have given birth. We got a kitten, so things are bustling here. We are making cheese now. Hopefully, I don't see any more miasma, so that's good. Although the moods haven't shifted. Actually, one of them did get a little bit happier, so we're making progress, trying to keep these guys from spiraling out of control. Oh man, I know I said I don't want to overload the dwarfs with too many different jobs at once, because then other jobs get neglected, like stilling and stuff, but I couldn't resist. I had to get some charcoal going, so we've got, dwarf working on charcoal, and then that's going to feed our smelter, which I did build too. I don't have any specific assignments. I'm actually curious who this is, the metalsmith. Yeah, that's good, because otherwise he's not really doing anything, but this is where the real interesting choices come into play. So what I like to do before I set up a work order, actually typically I don't set up work orders for smelters. What I'll do, because if you just go in and look at your work order, you don't really know exactly. I know for a fact we have magnetite, so we could do some iron bars, but if you're not sure, because there could be other kinds, or maybe you don't know, just go into the tasks and add a single new task task because any of the available ores anywhere in your castle or your fortress will light up. So we could make electrum using ore, which is silver and gold combined. Don't worry about that one. Galena, so I believe is that lead, I think, yeah. And a lot of the times too, you'll get like byproducts from it. So if you smelt enough lead, you might get like some silver out of it too sometimes. But there it is, magnetite. Yep, we've even got access to some gold ore and tetrahedrite, which I think is copper. Well, either way, we're definitely going to focus on magnetite. So I'll select that and then boom, just labeled as infinite. Now what I don't want to do is set up a bunch of these tasks like that because, well, we'll just wait until all the magnetite is smelted. And after that, I'll come back into that list. And, if I had multiples too with more dwarves, then we could designate each one of these for a separate type of bar, which is much more efficient. But this right here is going to be our stockpile for the metal bars themselves. Boom, there we go. I am working on bins too. I've been making bins, so that'll help. But I mean, I really do plan on making an absolute ton of bars and stuff. But yeah, let's go ahead and set this up. Let's see. I think bars and blocks, and we just want metal. No, not worried about this. We'll go ahead and do that too, because it's going to be rare that we make any of these blocks. We might get some soap, but that'll get moved up to the hospital once it's prepared. There we go. All right, that's looking good. And again, no specific dwarves for this job. With only 10 of them, it'll basically just fall down to the metalsmith. Whenever he's not doing anything else, he'll hopefully smelt up some bars. Ooh, now this is an interesting little happenstance. Yeah. So we've got some more open spaces here, 3 or 4 of them. And it's actually benefiting our farms below. So you can just see the farm plots. This is directly over, and I didn't do this on purpose. I was just clearing out some trees so we could make our way for the walls, which we're eventually going to build. But we've already seen that we can just cover this up with some flooring so we don't have like a literal hole into the fortress below. But check it out. If we go below, now when I was just reassigning the different, just in this room too, it didn't affect this room here, but we have a whole new set of options, things like bilberry, alfalfa. I mean, the list is long now. It's basically anything that we could grow on the surface, things like rye. So yeah, extremely fortunate. And I actually think now oh wow, it didn't even affect every single plot. Literally just the plots that have the holes above it. That's interesting. But yeah, this definitely works to our benefit. And I think if I go up to the surface now and order these holes filled like we did with the other ones by going to construction, we'll just do floor. I'm gonna place my material. There's one right there. I'll just use logs, it doesn't matter. Right, there's one, and the third one. Yeah, again, I'm not sure if this is actually, we got our trader here. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is actually going to seal it off so the farm plots below no longer get this benefit, but, well, we'll just have to wait and find out. Now it's on to the trading screen. Ooh, okay, as a side note, before we get into the trading, yeah, we've still got full access to all the different, like, above ground plants, as long as we have seeds for them, and certainly looks like they have laid that floor down. Yeah, all 3 pieces of floor down now, so boom, that's a good way of, getting a little cheat, a little access to the surface stuff below ground. Just knock out the floor, and we could literally do this without chopping down trunks. Like, it doesn't have to be random. If I wanted, I could go below and figure out exactly where the square for, like, right above this one is, and then I could order my miners to do a channel. Yeah, if we select a square where there's a channel and an empty room below it, then it'll just basically clear that floor piece. It'll just open it up to the space. So I could do it for the rest of these. In fact, I might because it bypasses the need to lay them on the surface, which can be dangerous. You don't. Although there are good reasons to have things on the surface too, so your dwarves don't become fully adapted. But anyway, that's not what we're doing right now. We're here to trade. Oh, I don't think I've actually set a broker yet. No, I forgot. We have plenty of, very competent ones. I think the expedition leader, he's the most suited, although it's telling me the bower is better, but that's okay. We'll go with the guy I initially wanted for it. There we go. So now when it says broker, it'll show the broker. We'll unpause it. And as soon as he gets there, it's nice because it tells us like what they're doing. So he's now at the trade depot. Boom. And I set up the order to bring a bunch of our gems. Oh yeah. And I am working on some bins too, so eventually they'll put all these in bins. It'll be easier to trade it, but let's do everything 9,300. Yeah, these are just regular gems too. It's not even like anything has been encrusted yet, really. But we got some really nice ones for sure. Yeah, our gem cutter skill. Plus we got lucky with some valuable finds. So let's do the fun part, and we'll just go through. I'm just going to buy. Buy. We've got a lot. I'm not worried about buying gems. I will grab the clay. Did we see glass? Yeah, let's get the glass too. Sometimes, as I mentioned, I think during the embark, it's good to just have some random stuff laying around that you haven't yet collected, because if you get a mood and they want, for instance, some glass, boom, you'll have some on hand, and you don't have to try and worry about whipping up a glass kiln right away. Last minute, we'll grab a couple of ropes. It's good to have those for various purposes. So the water skins I'll also grab. I'm not going to worry about an iron flask. This is interesting. We've got a musical instrument here too. Toys I don't care about. Animals, yes please. Another yak cow. I think we desperately need the male, don't we? I am going to, just purchase all these. So billy goat, alpaca. I'm not worried about an empty cage. Actually, I'll take that too because it's super cheap. Once we empty the animals out too, we can reuse the cages, set up some cage traps around the outside of our walls. All right, let's see. Barrels with booze. We are definitely buying. I guess I'll buy the milk. God, look at this oaken barrel here. It's empty, but it's still worth 1,000. Don't want that. We'll grab a couple buckets. Weapons. Now that's pretty interesting. Typically I wouldn't buy weapons because we can kind of make our own. Silver mace looks interesting. There are some weapons in this game I don't think you can make. Certain unique ones like whips and stuff. Maybe you can make them now, I don't know. But that would be something I would buy. We'll buy a bronze crossbow. Some of these things are just way overpriced. I'll buy the copper pick. Yeah, since we don't really have our metal working up yet, it's good to grab that stuff. Okay, not worried about clothing right now. Let's see. Actually, I guess I could buy some clothes. Buy the high boots, the shoes, dress, toga. Yeah, it's not a terrible idea to have some changes of clothes. Socks laying around. Buckler, shields, we'll make our own. All right, so we're getting down. Oh, trader profit. Ooh, maybe I should go back. Yeah, I got to be careful because sometimes you select whole categories. Look at this. These socks, there's no way I'm paying thousands for these socks. Okay, I got to be careful about that. We look better. Yeah, that was really what did it. That ate into our trading leverage there. Let's see. So the whole bin of spider silk, I will buy that whole bin. And we've got a bin of cloth. We'll grab that. And do they have any leather? Oh, I don't see leather. Wait, did I miss it? Bags. Let's look at these bags actually before we go. Let's see, anything with spawn in it or seeds we want. I will grab some dye just in case, and seed pods. Okay. Do we want some extra cheap bags too? Probably. Well, our trader profit's gone into the yellow, but he might still be willing to accept it. Let's see if there's anything else. Don't need the anvils. We can make our own bolts. Tempted to grab the meat. Let's see, can I get all the fish too? Because those are going to be real cheap. Yeah, plants will definitely take their plump helmets. I'll take the leaves and fruit. Alright, now we're getting towards the end. It's kind of miscellaneous stuff here. Splints, crutches, codices. Okay. Let's try and trade this sea. You'll need more. Oh, man, darn it. I was hoping maybe we could trade even if it was in yellow, but elite, I'm going to have to go up and unselect a few things. Okay, there we go. Didn't take too much. I just knocked off some of the clothing, so like some of the steel shoes we had. Alright, and trade successful. He's ecstatic. Now, that's interesting. They didn't take the large gems. Oh, I missed those. I must have accidentally not clicked them, but that's okay. So we'll just say no traders needed, and as the boys get and girls get a available free hand, they'll come up here and just bring this stuff down to the appropriate stockpile. But not bad. Good trade for the year, but, as the pop-up said, that does indicate we're moving into winter. Taking a quick look at the stocks here, it seems like our manager and organizer's doing a fairly good job, but we definitely have some iron bars now. We've even got a few random ones, tons of charcoal. Yeah, the rest of the list is all charcoal. But yeah, let's make some iron stuff now. All right, so we'll go to the work orders for the smith. What do we want to start with? What's probably the best? In terms of the iron, we could start whipping up some weapons. That's probably what we'll do. Let's make 10 iron battle axes right off the bat. Yeah, and I'm not going to overload this station with a bunch of work orders just yet. We'll keep it pretty slim. You can see I'm still waiting on a bunch of rock stuff to be made. We got work orders over here. Down here, gems are still going. We need you to replenish our supplies, buddy. Traded a bunch of good stuff to us. Now, do we have our hospital? So the hospital's still a work in progress, isn't it? Let's lay out some beds. See how many of these we've got. Beds are always in such high demand. We do have the 2 traction benches. We'll probably need a chest in here too, so the doctor can start to load up like threads and things for soap. But I think it's good enough. We can lay out the actual meeting area for it. Beautiful. Accept that. And we go into this icon. Hospital. There we go. Now, do we have the Chief Medical Dwarf? Not yet. That guy. All right, good job. So far, 2 dudes, no 3, are filling all these roles here, but that's okay. The expedition leader's kind of pointless. I don't really know what this guy does, but the rest of these are definitely meaningful, but we're not quite there with all those yet. Boy, oh boy, the fortress is still pretty small, but I think we're on the right track, no doubt about it. Feeling good, feeling pretty quiet down here now, but let's see, where's our blacksmith? He's over here still forging. Yeah, still smelting up some magnetite, so we'll give him a brief pause. We haven't seen any moods yet, so I'm still anticipating our first one of those. Let's see, do we have any more doors to place? Trying to really get the hang of these hotkeys. Oh, good, we can start to set up some more. Yeah, we'll put a door there. I just decided, even though I messed up this over here and I wanted to kind of move it, I just decided it'd be easier just to turn them into bedrooms and forget about it. Asymmetry, dwarfs don't care about appearance that much. It's not like we're elves or anything worried about the beauty. All we care about is the craftsmanship, right? Let's go to the surface here. How's the animals? It's good to check on your pins, especially as you get new migrants, because they can bring new animals. Yeah, in our trade, looks like we want to set all these guys here, so that'll pull them out of the cage too. We got the cats, hens, good. Let's go below to this level. God, look at our drinks. We can still barely break. I've got the 2 breweries up and running, but man, oh man, it's still a struggle with these guys. Nonetheless, God, that rooster's still not been put back in here. What the heck is going on with him? He's like too quick to catch or something? Click it and click it again. Let's look for any more poultry. I like to keep all the birds together. No, no, everything else is good. Has a home. Let's do this large one is for cats. Let's make sure all the cats are in there. Puppies, kittens. Okay, we only have three. Two adults and a cat or kitten. Hey, look at that. No, dang it. No migrants this season. Oh, whatever. We're used to it at this point, but that is unfortunate. It's a slow grower, you know. Like I said at the outset of this particular fortress, we've just got to look at it like as a long haul. And oh my God, how are they drinking so much so quickly? We just had like 90 of them. There's only 10 dwarves here. That's nuts. We have so much food, but, well, we're going to keep at it. Yeah, see, every time they drink, they brew a little bit more. It's just not enough, but we've got plenty of barrels too. That's one thing I'm keeping up with is barrels. Wow, wow, wow. So much to do, so much to keep track of, especially as we grow. It will become more and more challenging, but with the challenges come new opportunities to dig even deeper. We still haven't even reached the cavern layer yet, so that's going to be a big one, and this time hopefully we'll do it properly so that we'll have a team of trained dwarves or at least some explorers that we've hired before we open it up. Look, there's that rooster right there. Get upstairs to your wife, sir. What are you doing? We need some eggs. This one dude right here is preventing the entire fortress from eating eggs, guys, and it's really disappointing me. But nonetheless, stay tuned for the series. Come back in the next one and see if the rooster gets housed properly and so many other adventures we're going to get into. And thank you for everybody who's been tuning in. I'm really enjoying getting back into Dwarf Fortress, and of course, it's always nice when there are other folks out there to tune in and hang out, and let's see what happens next. So hit that like button, and I'll see you all on the next one.